SpongeBob SquarePants, the wildly popular Nickelodeon cartoon. Why? Well, it turns out a new study by child psychologists suggests the cheerful, can-do little sponge could threaten your child's development. The psychologists set out to measure how the cartoon affects the cognitive capability and impulse control of children who watch it. ABC's Neil Karlinsky tonight tells us what the study discovered and what Nickelodeon has to say about it.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Until now, everyone's favorite nonsensical yellow sponge who lives under the sea has had only one main enemy. Plankton, that tiny little guy with the deep voice and relentless spirits.
The Krusty Krab is mine!
Today, SpongeBob has another nemesis, University of Virginia psychologist Angeline Lillard. She says the show SpongeBob SquarePants may be harming America's preschoolers. Her study found that after 9 minutes of SpongeBob, kids couldn't concentrate, think clearly, or learn as well.
I'm cool.
This is no ordinary show. SpongeBob is one of the most popular children's shows ever. We went behind the scenes with them last year to meet the faces behind the fish.
Oh, somebody's tense.
Krusty Krab, come on down to the Krusty Krab!
The new study doesn't say there's anything wrong with the subject matter, a silly table sponge and his dopey friend Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs and the gang, but it does say the frantic pacing, scene changes every 11 seconds on average, often leaves kids zoned out and spun up, unable to concentrate. We watched SpongeBob with an expert in child behavior to see what he thought.
So what do you say to those parents who look at this study and say, come on, I mean, seriously, this is SpongeBob?
I don't think that anybody, including the makers of SpongeBob, argued the show is educational. It's clearly meant for entertainment. And I'll admit, it's very entertaining. I've seen many an episode myself. But what it tells us is the kids that watch that versus the kids that watch something else are at least at risk for having short and long-term performance deficits.
Take cover!
The study looked at 4-year-olds and compared them with kids watching a decidedly slower-paced show, Caillou.
Well, I think we're all done shopping.
The Caillou kids weren't as easily distracted after the show.
Oh, that's right.
But the SpongeBob team says this isn't a valid study because their show is meant for kids 6 and up.
SpongeBob!
SpongeBob is not designed to educate preschoolers. It's designed to entertain.
I will not let you down!
And that's not their only problem with it.
There are not enough children included in this study. Parents were asked to report on their own children, and we work with parents every day and we see how much they love their kids. They're going to tell us their kids are great.
SpongeBob isn't the first children's show to go under the microscope. Years ago, researchers said the Roadrunner and Coyote made kids more violent. Reverend Jerry Falwell called a Teletubby named Tinky Winky a gay role model. Making a children's show isn't child's play, and the people who bring SpongeBob to life are acutely aware of the critics. In script meetings, potentially offensive words or themes are cut out.
Keep an eye out for also how angry SpongeBob seems, because one of the nice things about his role in this is that he's really trying to be polite and respectful.
Tom Kenny, SpongeBob SquarePants.
The humans who give voice to the eclectic gang of characters told us they've heard it all before.
I think there is an impression among people who haven't watched the show a lot, maybe, that it's teaching the kids bad habits to call each other stupid or dumb, or maybe, hit somebody on the head.
I think a lot of people are very careful about television and are very super careful about introducing their kids to television because it can consume young people.
There are a few children's shows that go out of their way to engage kids, like Sesame Street and Dora the Explorer, which encourage kids to answer questions and interact with the story. The researchers don't take issue with those shows, but for some, they're not nearly as entertaining.
Those cartoons that are supposed to be good for your kids? Boring!
Oh, yeah.
They're a tough slog, believe me.
So what's a parent to do?
I don't think parents should be unduly alarmed. The effects here were short-lived in all probability.
The man behind the sponge says you might want to keep in mind that the show isn't intended to be educational, and parents aren't supposed to just let young kids zone out all by themselves.
I miss the days when parents didn't care that much. You know what I mean? Wow, if there were watchdog groups around then, I would have no Popeye in my life, no Three Stooges, no Looney Tunes. None of the stuff that sort of informed my sensibility.
I'm Neil Karlinsky for Nightline in Seattle.